In today's episode, we got a chance to talk to one of world's most influential supply chain managers. And obviously we talked about automation. We talked about automation's impact on the operations of one of world's biggest multinational companies. We talked about lessons learned from automation projects and about the impact on the company's workforce. In the end, we also discussed exciting new technology that our guest has on the radar. So stay with us and tune into this very special episode.
Automation Awakenings, your weekly dose of best practices for logistics automation.
Welcome back to another episode of the Automation Awakenings podcast. And it's a special episode because we have a guest here in the studio. He is the head of supply chain management at Robert Bosch GmbH. He is responsible for the logistics of over 200 plants and over 600 warehouses. And he's leading a team of over 20,000 logistics employees. Welcome to the show, Arne Flemming.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me.
A pleasure to have you here. And you work at Bosch. Maybe you could describe to our listeners in a couple of words what Bosch is doing as a company.
Yeah, Bosch is a really big company. So we have more than 400,000 associates and almost 100 billion euro turnover a year. And big share of our business is automotive business. Yeah. And we have also consumer business like drilling machines, household machines, and so on. So different divisions.
Yeah.
And you can also imagine that it's a complex organization. Yeah, divisions with profit and loss responsibility and a functional lead from the corporate supply chain management department, which is basically me and my team. Yeah?
Okay, interesting. And you're talking about your role also. So you are the supply chain head of Bosch. What do you do in this function? What are your tasks?
Yeah, so first of all, we have the corporate functions divided into operations, which we have assigned to the global service area, which is also with me. I'm responsible for the global logistic service operations as well as the global corporate supply chain department. No? And so we do a lot of operations like distribution, warehouse management, transport management, foreign trade, packaging, also planning services.
Okay.
Yeah, and within the corporate supply chain department, we are responsible for the governance for all the rules, basically, which we need also within the company, and also for IT and process topics. Yeah. Yes, and we also decide which kind of automation tools we provide and so on for the whole company, what kind of standards we use, and but always to a certain level. There's also some kind of freedom, within the divisions, and but we decide the most important thing, especially those which influence to other functions like finance and so on. So it has to be fit into our organizational model, which we have in our Bosch organization. Yeah?
Do you have like a global automation strategy at Bosch? Or is this still on the divisional level as you described?
No, we have it, and maybe also part of our task is to give a functional guidance, logistic guidance. That's why we also provide strategy and guidance to the plants and divisions. Yeah? And there's many topics in terms of automation. And if you speak about automation, I know your podcast is more about this material flow automation topics.
Indeed, yeah.
But automation is more than only this physical material flow. So I would extend it more to the whole digitalization topic. Yeah? So we have also automation in office processes a lot. Yeah? We have these standard IT tools, standard software, those kind of things. We have the analytics. We have these automation, local automations in offices like RPAs, robotic process automation.
Yeah.
So we have AI, artificial intelligence, which comes very strong, and and all these material flow automations. And here we have two fields of action, or we call it fields of action, two big guidance which we send to the community, and this is use AGVs. Yeah. So this is what we definitely foster to roll out AGVs, and also use tools for dynamic transports. So we want to get rid of this regular transport, regular milk runs. So we want to have more guided transports. So we call it the dynamic transport solutions.
Yeah, understood. So basically within the material flow area, you have a strong focus on mobile robotics, which is AGV, AMRs.
Yeah.
And then you also have the software part, which is basically transport guidance systems that make these fleets that you have, so forklifts, milk runs, more dynamic and less static and plannable.
That we don't have just a regular milk run.
Yeah.
So we have really an order-based or demand-based transportation. And there's a WMS system mostly for the material flow, and we have in between the AGVs and all these material flow automation technique like conveyor belts or whatever we have. We need some interfaces or layer in between. And this is what we also roll out, and this is what we call dynamic transport.
Do these two, let's say, material flow automation technologies have some kind of focus in a certain area of a plant or a warehouse, or do you roll them out like all over the place, basically?
No, the big topic is the business benefit. It's a really a positive business calculation. So it definitely depends on the personnel costs. And we have different areas. We are a global company. We operate in different countries with different labor costs. And therefore, in some areas, there isn't a business case for that. And you also need a certain maturity in your base processes. In your WMS system, you also need a certain maintenance of all this IT stuff. This needs a certain scale, so it's not something for the very small entities and so on. So there's definitely not a one size fits all. So you have to differentiate it.
So if I get it right, the Bosch approach is to bring in these automation technologies wherever there is a positive business case for it. And you do not have a kind of like, I would say, rule or a kind of, maybe cult to spread it everywhere. It's always a commercial decision in the end.
For those kind of automation technologies, and we've also specific use cases, so also specific markets. You also have to consider the service availability for these technologies. And therefore, as I said, we just say, okay, consider AGVs. We use AGVs. We also track it. What amount of AGVs we have. So this is a big activity which we drive, and we also implement those dynamic transport management solutions for internal transports.
Perfect. So Bosch seems to be well along the road towards automation, and you collected a lot of lessons learned with your team while bringing those solutions to the plants and to the warehouses. Say, I'm a company and I'm totally new to automation. What would be your, let's say, your key recommendations when I start with automation? What is to be considered when I take my first step into this direction?
So I would say first make your homework. You need really first of all a stable digitalization in your base processes. This means a proper WMS system. And good master data and so on. And good process compliance that you work according to the system. So otherwise you start immediately, or you will immediately see this an AGV or with another dynamic transport solution or whatever that you come into problems. So digitalization starts with base processes which you digitalize, and then you add more and more automation, and AGVs needs a certain maturity.
Totally agree. In one of our previous episodes, we actually came to the conclusion that when you automate a bad process, you're going to get a bad automation solution, right?
Definitely.
So it's not like a magic stick you use to get rid of all your problems, because in most of the cases they are rooted in just bad physical processes, in waste within those processes, or as you say, and I think this is very important, is really also data flow and master data maintenance that is forgotten in many cases, and which leads to many problems in the end.
Yeah. On the other side, you also you make maybe some things visible. Yeah, that the things are out of control or disconnected. That the real physical movements are disconnected from your WMS processes. So there's also something a positive effect if you start implementing AGVs or other solutions, that immediately if you show the results, or if you connect this physical technology with your WMS system, you immediately see those kinds of differences from the real world and the digital world. Yeah, and this can also be a benefit, but you have to be aware of your maturity, so otherwise you will be frustrated if you implement it, and you can do it another way around, but.
I mean, we've started with customers that try to use automation as the magic solution for the problems, but in most of the cases they just really fail with it, because the problems are rooted so deep in the physical process that they simply do not manage to get this automation solution up and running, because the automation solution needs rules and clear information, which you wouldn't get, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think this is a very important aspect, guys. So do your homework, get your physical processes straight first, and make sure you have a high data maturity in your processes before you really dive into automation tech and rolling this automation tech out on your shop floor. Yeah, we're talking about the shop floor operations already, and we talk about automation, which obviously is replacing humans in many areas. I guess you at Bosch, you've been at that point, you've been bringing those solutions and reducing workforce. Arne, do you have a certain strategy on how you address this topic to the employees, to the workforce? Because there's many fears also, and a lot of skepticism towards automation. And how do you deal with that topic in your organization?
That's definitely a topic. First of all, I don't like to make a secret out of it. This is not only for this physical material flow automation, it's for the whole digitalization topic. So to bring the people on board that they drive the digitalization automation. They don't they don't need concerns. Or it's not allowed to say have concerns about that. What we do, we make it clear what happens. We have mostly in the high cost countries where those automation solutions are most suitable or beneficial. Also, luckily, a workforce limitation. So this helps us a lot. That we anyway have democratic topics. We don't get the right people filled up at the end. So this is a reduction of workforce which we have to handle, and automation technology helps us.
Understood.
And then we need a proper education programs that the people can also develop. From maybe just physical tasks to more maintenance tasks of AGVs or control or software topics and so on.
Understood.
That's also what we provide. And in total, these are our tools, how to manage, or how we like to manage it.
So I guess also you have communication channels that you use to announce this or to make this a topic in the organization. Is there any specific channel that you have the best experience with?
I think there are some different levels. If you have a concrete automation project, then you have to involve everybody. Don't make a secret out of it. Make clear what happens, and try to avoid that the people left the boat because they are afraid to lose their job.
Yeah.
So you need some alternatives for them. No?
Okay.
Education, higher educated tasks, or you show that it's not necessary that they lose their job because there are so many other jobs and the workforce is anyway limited.
Yeah.
And we also do big programs, not project specific, for the whole digitalization. So we make the organization eager for digitalization.
It's a nice word. Yeah.
Or keen or whatever. Yeah. So they perceive those topics positively. This is very important. And this is what we do.
Cool. I have a question here. Always been wondering about it. Maybe you have the answer. You're talking about the workforce that is diminishing, right? So when we go and talk to our customers, we always hear that there is no more forklift drivers on the market. Where did they go, Arne? Do you have an idea? It feels like before Corona, it was okay-ish. And then after Corona, they vanished somehow.
It depends on the region.
Okay.
But in total, I would say we have this democratic change. Also this elderly society or aging society. This is the right word.
Yeah.
This aging society, and on the other side, we have also a better educated society in total, I would say. So the level of education increases, especially in the well-developed countries. And therefore the people don't like to do don't like to be a forklift driver anymore. No?
Yeah.
And this is what we see. So especially those tasks which are tough, heavy work, and with less education, they're difficult to fulfill. No? Or difficult to get people.
I heard a cool slogan just recently. It says, "Make robots do the 3Ds." The 3Ds is dirty, dull, or dangerous. And I think this is exactly what you mentioned
exactly.
here.
This is
So
people doesn't like to do that.
They don't like to do it. They are vanishing, and we either way need to step in with this automation tech to get keep operations up and running, and to make sure that you guys can supply your lines and your warehouses with whatever is needed. Right. So let's talk a little bit about the future. So I have the feeling we are in the middle of a really big change in terms of automation and how also automation technologies are collaborating with human workforce. And I would be really interested in hearing from you what kind of new technology you think is especially exciting and might really become very big in the next years.
Also if we speak about material flow automation, but we have also many aspects in this digitalization. Artificial intelligence is something that comes very strong. We will see to which extent, to what are the limitations in compute power and in costs also. At the end, where are the business benefits? I expect artificial intelligence will also develop a lot and will change some process areas a lot, especially planning. But let's talk about material flow, because this is a material flow automation podcast. I'm not sure. I think we still have a slow curve of development. So we have those videos of humanoids and so on, very fancy robots. You can see them. These are prototypes sometimes, or really only specific use cases and so on. But to have in general and really on a big scale automation technology available, there are still many limitations.
Okay.
Just one example: if you see AGVs in a company, from my point of view, they are incredibly slow still. Why are they so slow? Latency topics. For example, you have different systems. The latency, they have to communicate to different systems. It's there are still technical limitations, also security topics. So it's not allowed to run them slow. Nobody trusts them. So people might get hurt. Yeah. So also these kind of social aspects that we have to learn, work together with automation technology. Yeah. But I'm not in all the details why it's the case. But sometimes I'm wondering, especially or this traffic management, if we have maybe 5 AGVs in front of, or in front of a supermarket or whatever, and they see each other and they try to communicate to each other and find a way how to solve this traffic problem, how to cross each other. It's sometimes incredibly slow. It is by far not the speed as a human would have. So this here I'm also not clear how fast will be the development at the end. We continuously track the innovations, but there are limitations, and we as Bosch, especially on the big scale, we have to use proven technology, reliable technology. We have an eye on these high-end innovations, but until they're really beneficial in the business cases, in the plants, and we can use it to a big extent, I think there will be, but this will need some time. No?
So if I get you right, you're basically saying that there's going to be those islands in your plants and warehouses where these automation technologies make a lot of sense because they are commercially attractive. But then when we talk about spreading them all over the place and seeing them all over the place, there's still way to go, because we basically need to still maybe detangle our system landscape that we have, so which is causing the latency problem. And then secondly, also many of these technologies might not yet be mature enough to cover each and every aspect basically of the material flow that is required.
Yeah, exactly. And also these standards for the communication of different kind of hardware. Automation hardware. This is, we have some maybe local development standards, some standards developing globally. But at the end, there's still a big gap for this communication standard of different hardware.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, in the mobile robots area, we have the VDA 5050, which is now popping up to help orchestrate different suppliers. But of course, we sometimes also ask ourselves, how about including other actors like humanoids in the future, or drones, or whatever else will be there? You also need to orchestrate and do traffic management to these actors.
And there are much more questions which we didn't even recognize yet. So, for example, now we organize with the VDA 5050 the traffic on a two-dimensional. But if you have a humanoid, you also have to organize what is with this with this hand movement.
XYZ coordinate.
XYZ, you need a three-dimensional coordination. And just one aspect which come in my mind.
That's very interesting. Maybe one question concerning humanoids, because it's a big, I would say, buzz topic, right? And as a fact, I read that, for example, BMW is having first tests using humanoids in the car production in the States, in the US. I think Elon Musk also has plans to replace his workforce with the Tesla humanoid. Do you see humanoids working alongside humans at Bosch in the next 5 years, or do you think this is very far away?
Definitely not. So there are two big topics. One is that they are simply too expensive. So you always have to consider this robot, this humanoid, can replace a human in 3 shifts. So 3 times the salary. This is what he can save. Or this humanoids can save, and up to now they are too expensive. Another big aspect is this security topic, safety, especially in collaboration. If you have humanoids and humans working together, we are very carefully with the health of our associates. So therefore, this has to be tested and has to be reliable very much that they can work together. If they don't work together, or maybe another question is, do we really need humanoids? Yeah? Or is it maybe sometimes better to just have a normal robot?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are much cheaper, a bigger scale in production. Yeah.
You mean like a
And,
cobot, basically,
yeah,
like a
but
cobot
maybe
arm.
limited to just some task. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
this is what we already introduce a lot in our manufacturing. Yeah,
Yeah.
so the humanoid is something what comes into the game if you really need complete flexible tasks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so or sometimes or pack something out of a paper box.
Yeah.
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 So this is really difficult because this paper box always looks differently. And
Yeah.
for a normal robot, it's very difficult. But I'm also not sure how mature those humanoids are up to now. I think maybe they have the same problems as a normal robot.
Yeah. But I think this is a great thought, and also aspect that I heard in the industry, that if humanoids are to be successful as a technology, they'll need to be incredibly flexible. So they'll need to be designed in a way to do many different workflows, because otherwise those individual workflows can be covered by other automation technologies like mobile robots, like cobots, that are much cheaper, much more maybe also reliable, and but basically there won't be a market for humanoids if they can't have this flexibility as a product.
Yeah, and this flexibility needs enormous compute power.
Yep.
That they can really do it. This is something. I would expect that it's impossible to build within the humanoid those amount of compute power.
Yeah.
Or this humanoid is incredibly expensive or too
Yeah.
big or whatever. Yeah, or needs too much
Energy. Power. Yeah.
Then okay, you have to. You can put all this computing stuff or this calculation into the cloud. Yeah? And then you have immediately this latency topic. Yeah, this connection topic and all these things. So then you make the humanoid again slow. Yeah, so there are still some limitations, and I like it. Well, I don't want to be, or don't like that I sound too pessimistic here in that regards. But and I want to make clear that I like these innovations. Yeah, I always have a look on that, but I want that we are clear as Bosch about the limitations, and especially from the top management, we should look in deep into the limitations and have to understand these limitations in order to see when is the technology ready, mature enough for rollout, and we want to be the first one to use it in a big scale, because we want to have this competitive advantage at the end. Yeah.
Totally. Last question from our side today. So you're talking about realizing or noting when the technology is mature enough to be rolled out in a plant at Bosch or in a warehouse. Do you guys have some kind of like evaluation matrix or evaluation process to pinpoint these technologies, or how do you decide which one is mature enough and which one not?
Yeah, so we have a standard catalog, so especially for AGVs. Yeah, so we if we say okay, it's mature enough, then we put it into our standard catalog. Yeah, or we decide that's a new standard, and then everybody knows okay, this is ready. And then we also prepare all this stuff like contracts, service contracts, all these things for those kind of new standards. But until we come to a standard, we make pilots. Yeah?
Pilots. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we first continuously scan the market, what happens. Yeah, with some experts, so kind of scouting. Yeah. Then you can also imagine with 230 plants, and 20,000 logistic guys. There are always companies which approach our colleagues in the plants, in the division, or whatever. Yeah. And they always like it to do something innovative. Yeah. And therefore we have enough pilots. Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah. So it's more the case that we have to, just slow it down a little bit. So you have to make them aware about these limitations. It's not ready from our point of view. This is more our communication sometimes. Yeah. As just to say, okay, you have to use humanoids.
Yeah.
So because this innovation attractiveness for everybody is always there. And also the companies are there which approach our colleagues everywhere.
Yeah, sure. There's smart salespeople there with big visions and
with big visions, and they say
great ideas.
Whatever they want, and you have people they also want to do something fancy. They want to want to show to their leaders that they are very innovative supply chain guys and so on. And then they spend a lot of money. In many cases doesn't work. They hide the budget, the spendings, and at the end, this pilot isn't successful. So I see my task more, and sometimes I know it sounds pessimistically about those innovations, but this task to inform them realistically about the technologies is a very important task of us. No?
Arne, thank you so much for being our guest today. It was amazing to talk to you. And for all of you guys out there, thanks for joining. Hear you next Monday again. Have a great rest of the day and hear you soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
This was another episode of the Automation Awakenings podcast. Visit us at automation-awakenings.com.